The Kenya Revenue Authority will play a pivotal role in the financing of the 3 trillion budget, largely fashioned around realizing President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda. KRA's target in revenue collection capped at 1.7 trillion shillings. But the taxman is accused of constantly missing its target by far, forcing the government to borrow from both the domestic and foreign markets. And now, some members of parliament are proposing radical changes at Times Towers to spark confidence in revenue collection.
There is indeed a situation where KRA is not, year in, year out, is not meeting its revenue targets. And you cannot continue raiding the same sources of revenue. I think it's also time, with the new board, it's also time to have new management at KRA.
Basically, there must be restructuring at KRA. It's not that we are not correcting money. We are correcting the money, and this money, the big problem is the siphoning, the theft, the corruption that we are witnessing across the country.
Already, President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed former head of civil service Ambassador Francis Muthaura as chairman of KRA. In appointing Muthaura, Uhuru also made 3 changes at the KRA board. Muthaura, a government mandarin, expected to propose changes in the workings of KRA to achieve its targets. In the 2016-2017 financial year, KRA missed its target by 50 billion shillings. MP saying changes at the board only won't be enough.
We must also appreciate that His Excellency the President has just inaugurated a new board, a new chairman of the board of KRA. But I think it's also time for changes at KRA, also at management level. It is time that we change management in KRA.
With a budget deficit of 558.9 billion shillings, even with the expansion of tax bans, the taxman has to change tact in plugging the deficit through revenue collection. It is only in the 2003-2004 financial year that KRA outdid itself. With a budget of 240 billion shillings, revenue collections hit 229 billion shillings, and the deficit of 11 billion shillings was easily bridged by grants to the government. Economists say plugging budget deficits through foreign borrowing is often riskier because at some point, foreign creditors may decide that foreign debt is excessive and stop lending. This may lead to a debt crisis, repeated devaluations, and debt rescheduling. While domestic borrowing has the disadvantage of reducing local public credit, which would otherwise be available to the private sector. This exerting pressure on interest rates to rise, and where interest rates are controlled, domestic borrowing leads to credit restrictions and reduction of private sector investment. Sam Ogena, Citizen Weekend.